Brooke, you're not seriously still working, are you? Why don't you do the responsible thing here for once and quit your job? Then I can finally get some grandchildren out of you and my son. Would you hurry up, because I want some grandchildren before I eventually die. Along with my Peter, you need to contribute to the housework. Again, with this conversation, Sandra, you know that I have nothing to say on the matter. I don't plan on quitting my job anytime soon, so I'm sorry if that doesn't fit into your way of living. There's nothing wrong with me having a career. Now hold on just a minute there, Brooke. Do you really think this is the end of it for me? I'm sorry, what are you trying to say here? I'm making such an effort to contact you, and you're just going to let it all go and not hear me out? Do you have any sort of common sense in that brain of yours? I guess you don't, since you're always out of the house working in the first place despite being a wife to my son. This makes me completely doubt your humanity and what you should be doing for the family, which is making one. Seriously, Sandra, don't you think that you're being too old-fashioned? Whatever do you mean by that? In this day and age, it's a very normal thing for both the husband and wife to be working and sharing the housework. The things we do in this house are a little bit more unique, but if you're going to keep judging us for it, then can you just stay out of our way? We are working hard and earning money, so please don't complain about our situation. You can't say things like that to me. I'm your mother-in-law, and my opinion matters when it comes to this family. You really do have a limit to your common sense. Surely I can get rid of you just like that if you intend on speaking to me like you have, right? Please don't threaten me with those strange and scary comments. It's not going to do anyone any good. What do you even mean by getting rid of me? I mean that we don't need you in this family, and I can throw you out like garbage. Are you a non-burnable piece of waste, or would you prefer being burnt to a crisp? No. Would you quit it with your horrible jokes? They're not funny, and frankly, a crazy thing to say, Sandra. Can you blame me? You make me so angry. You'd be angry too if your darling son had a wife who was literally trash. You'll understand how I feel when you have your own children. Oh, really? Is that so? Even though I've married your son and would want to have children someday, you still won't keep your nose out of our business? I just want to live a quiet life, Sandra. What's that supposed to mean? It means what I say it means. I think it's a statement you don't need to read into very hard to understand. I'm going to leave the conversation at that, and if you want to voice your opinion, then please talk to your son about it. Since anything I try to say is just going to cause more trouble than it's worth. Isn't my son so tired from all the work he's doing? Have you given that any consideration at all? His work is not as strenuous as mine, so he's not as tired as I am. You seriously have a problem with not listening to what people are saying, don't you? I can't deal with this crap right now. I'm so angry. Would you please think about what I said for a bit and put it into action? Okay, Sandra, I understand your request, but if there's anything else, please take it up with your son. On that note, I'll leave you to it. Why have you not properly explained to your mother about our situation yet?
Brooke? What about?
I'm talking about our jobs, Peter. She's still indicating to me that she doesn't understand that we're both working. How much more can I explain what it is to her, and what would you be if I didn't work? You know that we wouldn't be able to live if I didn't work, right?
Brooke, can you be quiet for a second, please? There's no need to go out of your way to explain all that with my mother, okay? We're a happy married couple.
Happy? Ha ha. Is that some sort of a joke? I think I feel more stressed out than anything. If you can't earn your own money, then why don't you just do housework?
Is it okay for you to say that to me?
Huh? What do you mean? If I didn't tell you, who do I tell it to? Ha ha. I'm talking to you because it's about you, Peter.
Yeah, I'm your husband after all. If you say that sort of thing to me, Wouldn't that hurt my mother's feelings?
Well, can you please try to understand the situation you're in and think about what you should do in a calm manner? I can no longer go along with this charade anymore, so please solve this dilemma immediately.
Okay, could you at least make dinner? It would really help since I've been trying to eat at home more these days than at the office.
I usually do make dinner when I finish work early. Isn't it a normal thing to make dinner for yourself if you're going to be late? Or rather, I make my part of the meal. You do realize you're not doing anything else right now?
Are you asking them to make it then? Are you serious?
Can you please try and make food tomorrow? You've been giving a lot of unnecessary stress over this. Is it okay if you could do that much at least, please?
Alright. It's just such a hassle, though. I'll do it this one time, since all of this can't be helped at the present. This time is an exception.
What are you even saying? Also, go to the unemployment office, too. Have you both decided when you're getting a divorce? Excuse me? What's brought this on all of a sudden? You made my son the breadwinner, and you're making him do the housework as well? You know for a long time I haven't liked you at all. But knowing what you were like with my son, I absolutely loathe you. Okay, I'm confused. What has housework got to do with you loathing me? What are you so mad about, Sandra? Look, I've decided that you need to get a divorce from each other. If you don't mind getting out of our lives now, that would be great. It's only natural to find a man and get married, I understand that, but you lack so much common sense, it's not even funny. What game are you playing here, Brooke? Sandra, do you really think forcing your old school ideas onto me is going to work? By housework, do you mean tonight's dinner? Yes, that's right. My son has a wife who can do that now. He shouldn't have to. Don't you realize that you're someone's wife now? Don't you have to do what you're meant to as a loyal wife? What the heck are you trying to say, Sandra? I'm obviously not getting through to you, so I filed the divorce papers myself. You can't be serious. Oh, I'm dead serious. I'm so glad that I was able to file them for you. I made a divorce paper up for you both when you got married in case there was a serious breakdown in the marriage. When I think of it, I thought there was something weird with our legal documents. You did this and kept it from us? Now you're nothing but strangers to one another. Oh, I'm so relieved. My son has gotten a divorce from his garbage of a wife. Is that all you have to say? I really didn't think that you would go that far. As you would expect, I am quite surprised. If you make my son do all the housework as an excuse for you both working, and so you don't have to, then you're not fit to be a wife. I feel so sorry for my son, but if he has a useless wife, then she should divorce him and leave. Oh, I see. You really are an expert. Oh, I am all right. I never want to see your face around these parts ever again. This has all been a complete misunderstanding on your part, and in turn made us get divorced. But of course, that's something you do, Sandra. I will no longer go against your expectations. Anything more you're wanting to say to me, Brooke? You've completely failed as a wife since you're making your own husband cook for you. You know you're doing me a disservice with blaming me for your prehistoric ideologies. I owe you my gratitude for divorcing me from your son. Well then, I will do as you wish and get a divorce, but I think that you'll regret doing this a lot. Regret it? I highly doubt it. It would be useless to have a wife like you around. When are you gonna erase yourself from our lives? Didn't I already tell you that it's okay? Your wish of me divorcing Peter has been granted, but can I just say one more thing? We worked well as a couple. Since Peter's father died, we've been thinking about how you would cope. We were planning on gifting you a 2-family-sized house. What? You were? Yes, but I can't help but tell you now what we wanted to do for you. It's no use now, even if you try to reconcile with me. We thought about you a lot, and we were going to put our plan into action. It ended up being a waste of time and effort, and now I am the only one who's working in the family, so... What the heck are you talking about, Brooke? I don't understand this at all. I said that I can't tell you, Sandra. It has to be Peter that tells you what's actually going on. What does he have to tell me? What happened? What have you done to my son? I didn't want to tell you since it's Peter's story, but he got made redundant about 6 months ago. What? He lost his job? Yep, and he's been unemployed ever since. If I were to quit my job like you told me to do, we couldn't afford the rent for our place. Hold up. So you're telling me that Peter has been unemployed for quite a while now? That's what I'm saying, Sandra. Aren't you paying attention? That's why I'm the one who's working all the time. Peter doesn't have a job, and he hardly does any housework either, so I end up being super exhausted every day. I'm relieved that you filed a divorce for us. Thank you so much for that. What? You're thanking me? But... So I'll be leaving him then. However, the place we're in is a rental, and I'm the one who parts out for the rent, so I think it would be impossible for Peter to continue living there without an income. I think you'll have to withdraw some money for him to live there, or he can go back to living with you, so you'll need to take care of him. This has got nothing to do with me anymore. Oh, wait, Brooke, let's talk about this in more detail, okay? What else is there to talk about? I'm already done with the talking and have nothing else to say. Do you have something to add? What's going on with the two-family-sized house that you mentioned? What do you want to know about it? Well, you were building a two-family house for us. Whatever will I do with it? Oh, no way, Sandra. We're divorced now, right? So, of course, we've decided to not go ahead with the two-family house, all right? Excuse me? Why the heck not? Why would I, Sandra? Why would I build a house like that for my now ex-mother-in-law when we're divorced? Your son was more or less fired from his job because he couldn't work properly, so it seems like your son can't build the house after all. So there really is no two-family house for me at all? You should have told me about the house before. I wouldn't have filed the divorce papers. At some point, I wanted to get a divorce as well, so there was no point telling you. I still had some feelings for him, but Peter didn't like that. I wasn't quite ready then, but I am now. You're the one that wanted a divorce, and not Peter? What is it that you're getting from the conversation that we've had so far, Sandra? I have been the one working hard and earning, and I'm done, so I wanted out of this marriage. But thanks to you, I was able to get a divorce, and I am so grateful for that. You'll end up taking care of your unemployed son who's returned home to you. Do your best, Sandra. Brooke, wait, but I don't have the two-family-sized house. You're handing my son back to me? That's correct. I haven't heard of this from my son, though. Why would you do something like this? Shouldn't you have explained this to me properly beforehand? You need to be held accountable for all of this. How dare you not explain this to me, Brooke? I don't get what you're saying, Sandra. How many times do you think I told your son to tell you about what's going on? By the way, I'm the one that kept telling him to talk to his own mother. But the reason why I didn't do anything was because it was a problem between the two of you. Do you get what I'm saying? He didn't know how to even make food for dinner, so he must have asked you for help. He didn't help me at all. I was so frustrated just because of all those little things, and now I'm divorced. It seems like you were the one who had trouble letting us get divorced, didn't you? I had no clue about that, so I can't help what happened. Come on now, Brooke, that's enough of this nonsense. Let's not argue over all these strange things that have occurred. Why don't we just forget about this and you can make up with Peter? Please, have a long and happy life with him. I don't think we're on the same page, Sandra. I'm not happy anymore, so I prefer being divorced from him. Besides, I don't like having you for a crazy mother-in-law. You were the one that made us get divorced without our permission, remember? I'll call the courthouse and get it removed. Everything will be just fine. Just get back with my son, please. Let me tell you, Sandra, I have no intention of fixing this. Even if you try to rip up the divorce papers, I will get a lawyer and a divorce will be finalized. You're going to go to that extreme? There's no need for you to do that. Thanks to you, Sandra, I finally realized that I wanted a divorce this whole time. I'm tired of dealing with scumbags and miserable old hags in my life. What? Who are you talking about? Oh, forget it. It doesn't matter anymore. Well, not to me anyways. And with that, I bid you farewell, Sandra. Good luck living with your downright poor son. You're gonna need it. Enjoy your lives together. In the end, it was Sandra who was the cause of Brooke and Peter getting a divorce. Peter resents his mother for finalizing his divorce from his wife. Despite being unemployed and having a bossy attitude, he lives at his mother's house. Because of Sandra, he was divorced. It seems like Peter told his mother to work since none of them had a job. Sandra had no choice but to earn a living so she could pay for her son. It seems that she will face the worst of old age since she has the added stress of working. It seems that for the time being, they can't see a bright future ahead of them.
Hannah, you were out of the hospital today.
Yes. I'm just getting ready.
I'm working so I can't pick you up. You can go home by yourself, right?
Mom will pick me up. She told me to come straight home.
Oh, what? I didn't hear anything about that.
I just got the call. Mom and Dad are mad at you about the burns. They said the scars on my face will last forever, so...
Don't feel bad about that. I didn't do it on purpose.
I know that.
Right? It's your fault that's sitting in the wrong place in the first place.
You blame me?
You're the one who sat with your legs out while people were carrying pots and pans. It's disturbing, isn't it?
I was just sitting there as usual. It's not like I was in a weird place. I think Leo was carrying it while watching TV and tripped over it.
No. It was because you were in the way. I mean, your relatives annoy me.
Annoying? Why?
They want me to divorce you. Your father even grabbed me. Isn't that a crime? Why am I getting blamed for this?
My parents told me to get a divorce too. They've been telling me for a while.
What? Since when?
Soon after we got married.
Why?
People got worried. After watching our conversation and stuff like that.
Conversation?
People would ask me, "Is your husband always this cold?" They thought I was being treated badly by you. Seems like everyone was thinking of it.
What the hell is that? What did I do?
You're so quick to make fun of me. Not only my relatives, but also my friends.
They're all saying whatever they want.
You call me stupid and useless.
Isn't it true? You're a defective woman who can't even do decent housework. So you were joining them and saying bad things about me behind my back too. I don't understand why I'm being blamed for that.
No matter how to me, I had no intention of leaving you. But this time, I understand what the parents are saying. Every time I look in the mirror, I feel sad. My relatives say they'd force me to get a divorce.
I see. I don't care if we get a divorce. I don't. If I saw your face right now, I would be turned off.
Turned off?
Because you look like a monster. I'd be scared to death if I saw you at night. And it's just weird to be with you. If I can get a divorce, it's just a good time.
A monster?
I can't live with a woman who looks like that. I wouldn't even want to spend the night with you. If I can't see you as a woman, what's the point of being married to you?
I was burned because of your carelessness. You think it's not your fault that I look like this? But then you dump me without taking any responsibility?
Your relatives want a divorce too. If that's what you want, so be it.
You said it's a good time. You were going to get a divorce even if my family didn't tell you to.
Well, I can't deny that possibility. Your face is so ugly right now.
How dare! How can you say such a terrible thing? What do you think I am?
Well, you're mad at me too, right? Then you don't have to force yourself to stay in the marriage, do you? Let's go our separate ways.
Well, you're already completely willing to separate. Then there's no point in talking anymore.
When you take your stuff, sign the divorce papers while you're at it. It's too much work to mail it. Oh, you'll have to get the divorce papers.
I feel like an idiot. Now I understand what my parents were saying. I don't know why I hung on to someone like you.
Hey, how are you? It's been a while.
What, Leo?
It's been 5 years since then.
What's going on? You haven't contacted me since the divorce. Anything happen?
Well, I haven't talked to you in a while, so I thought I'd give you a call.
Make it quick.
What's with the attitude? I contacted you for the first time in a long time, so you should be happy for more.
Why should I? So, what do you want to talk about?
That's a story that makes you happy.
Happy about what?
I called you because I'm thinking of remarrying you. You're probably still single anyway. How's that sound? Happy?
What do you mean? I thought you didn't like my face. Why are you asking me to remarry now?
Actually, I got an illness. I've got diabetes and all that stuff. I go to the hospital every week.
You've had a rough life. I knew you were gonna get ill someday.
I didn't have a rough life.
You were the type that didn't eat, only drink. And you drink a lot. It's the worst for you, right?
Well, that's alright. I want a wife so bad right now.
What?
I've been with a lot of different women over the past 5 years, but they all ran away. They're all a mess, aren't they?
That's because you don't treat women well.
What's wrong with me?
You have nothing but bad things to say. What do you mean you want a wife when you get ill? You want your wife to take care of you?
It's hard when I'm fighting the illness alone. You know, these are things I want you to buy for me while I'm in the hospital. Besides, there's always personal care and stuff.
You must be mistaking women for housekeepers or something. Marriage partners aren't that convenient. You've been with a lot of people in your life. Why are you telling me this?
You're just perfect for that. And now that I think about it, you have the most guts.
But we're already divorced.
But you can't get married forever anyway.
Forever?
You look like a monster. No man would marry you with a face like that. So I'll take you back for it. I'm so sweet, aren't I?
Why would I remarry you? My parents and relatives won't allow it. They wanted to divorce you for 5 years ago. There's no way they'd let you remarry.
That being said, it's better than being single all the time. If they don't like it, just cut them off.
I don't want to do that.
Why not? I hate your relatives because they annoy me. Cut them off.
They are my dearest relatives. I'm not going to cut them off. And I'm not remarrying you.
Why not? It's not a bad deal for you either. You don't want to be single forever.
I'm a wiser man now. I'm not the same person I was then. I will not remarry you who do not care for me.
I don't know what you're talking about. You're not in a position to choose. If you miss this opportunity, you'll never get married.
I don't want to go back to my old life. I'd rather be single forever than remarry you.
What the hell, man? I'm telling you this in good faith.
How can I remarry someone who calls me a monster? You haven't changed at all since 5 years ago. You think I'm an idiot.
I'm just telling you the truth.
That's what's not good about you.
Don't be so silly. Just get married again. Just come back to me.
I won't.
If you don't do what I say, you'll pay for it. Pay for it. I'll find your house and I'll ambush you. Until you shake your head.
Well,
You remember I've been boxing all my life, right? You're so easy to twist.
are you threatening me?
I'm telling you to realize what you're up against. Don't turn me down for being a monster. Don't get cocky or I'll kick your ass.
Why you want to remarry so badly? But I can't decide right now. I have to explain this to relatives, so please give me more time.
Okay. I'll call you tomorrow.
Tomorrow? That's too soon. Give me 3 days.
I don't have a choice. I'll call you in 3 days. I'm counting on you. Well, it's been 3 days. Let me hear your answer. You only have one choice, though.
Right. There's only one option. I will not remarry you.
You're still saying that?
That's the only way to think about it, right? I can't conclude that I will remarry you.
You're still single, right? Why don't you grow up and remarry me? There's no one who will take a defective woman with a face like a monster. Or are you going to be single and lonely for the rest of your life?
I have a message for you.
From who? From those annoying relatives?
You don't have to come to work from tomorrow.
What? Where that message comes from?
My husband. I hear you're being fired.
Husband? What do you mean fired?
The executives at your company promised my husband that they would fire you, so I guess you could just say your boss gave me a message.
Wait a minute. Husband? My company? What the hell have you been saying all this time?
I never said I was single, did I? That I could never remarry? It's just your imagination.
What's my imagination? There's no way a woman like you can get married. Do you understand what you were talking about?
Unfortunately, I already married again 3 years ago. He was a student of my father's when he was a professor.
No way.
I was surprised too. 3 days ago, I told my husband about your threats. He was so furious he did some research to sue you. And it turns out you're an employee of one of our clients.
You've got to be kidding me. That's a big client. I can think of a few companies off the top of my head. I don't know anything about the CEO.
We know everything now. So my husband told your company. The people at your company were in panic. If my husband cancels a contract with your company, that's a big problem, right?
That would probably be bad.
I heard it would cost tens of millions of dollars in damages. Well, I'm sure they will be in a panic. If it goes wrong, the company falls apart.
I didn't threaten anyone. To sue me is going too far.
You said if I didn't remarry, you'd kick my ass. That's a fine threat. I filed a damage report.
You're overreacting. We're an ex-couple. If I say something that goes a little too far, let it go.
What's up with being an ex-husband and wife? I have a very painful past. I've suffered a lot because of you. This threat is not to be ignored this time. The spread on my face is your fault.
You didn't do it on purpose.
Because of your carelessness. And you called me a monster. Isn't that an insult or slander? My husband says he'll never forgive you, but says he'll beat the shit out of you.
But that doesn't mean he won't file a damage report and tell the company. That's a bit much.
I think your company would be happy to get rid of you rather than break the relationship with my husband's company. Threaten the wife of the CEO of an important business partner. That means it's an act that's very detrimental to the company's interests. Isn't that reason enough to fire you?
Wait a minute. I've been getting a lot of calls from the company. Seriously?
Yeah, right? They're serious.
I don't know what's going to happen to my life. I don't want to be unemployed or have an ex-conviction record.
If you want me to drop the claim, you'll have to settle the case. I won't drop the claim until you pay me the fee I'm demanding. You don't have a choice. I heard you've officially been fired. So the company cut you off after all. I knew it.
Thanks to you, I'm unemployed. What am I going to do now? I'm fighting an illness, so it's hard to find a job. Who would hire a person with a serious illness on a full-time basis?
You'll just have to do your best to find out.
You said it's just like it's somebody else's problem. Well, it's none of your business.
My husband won't hold your company responsible any longer. It's your fault, not theirs. But he won't drop the case against you personally.
I've been fired, so I have had enough payback.
I also have a burn mark against you. This can't possibly be enough.
Are you really that Hannah? You've changed completely. She used to be so quiet and gentle.
Since I remarried my husband, I've changed. I've become more confident in myself. I can express my feelings better now than when I was with you.
Hannah, I'm sorry. My attitude was wrong.
Are you finally going to apologize? It's too late for an apology.
I'm really sorry. I'm sorry I forced you to remarry. But I was ill and I couldn't have enough room either. You need to understand that.
Using illness as an excuse?
In fact, my illness is serious. I'm treating, but instead of getting better, it's getting worse and worse. It's more painful than anything else. I lost my mind and I just made a heartless comment.
This isn't the first time that you've made heartless comments. Even before you got ill, you were a terrible person. The only reason you are the worst person is that your nature is corrupt, and not because of the illness.
Was I that bad?
You never understand it anyway. You don't really feel sorry for what you did. You just want me to drop the lawsuit.
That's not true.
As your ex-wife, I understand your character. You will never be rehabilitated. The real monster is you, with your ugly heart. My ex-husband paid $20,000 in alimony and we settled. He has been laid off from the company and flat broke. He can't work long hours because his illness is getting worse and worse. And because of that, he can't seem to find a job. A year after the divorce, I heard a rumor that her ex-husband has been told his life expectancy is limited. Now that time has passed, I don't know if he's alive or dead. But I don't think I want to know. My husband and I still get along with each other. When I'm with him, I don't care about the scars on my face. I have found true love.